nothing, but the righteous shall see God. Gotta live holy, gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home, God is on the way. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm going home, God is on the way. I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going home. God is on the way. You better get right. Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church, and let's go home. Get right, church, get right, church, get right, church, and let's go home. Restore behaviors, forward reverse, chemistry savior, unique verse, Archimedes, Ark of the Covenant, angels, angel of non-compete covenants, archaic cave wars, God, my God, course, CNC on, my God, horrors, my God, next doors, my God, now God doors. Oh, you accuser, one wants an iron door, you accuser, one wants to buy and clone. I wanna be ready, I got to be ready. Get right, church, and let's go home. You better get right. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go home. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go home. Nothing but the righteous shall see God. Gotta live holy, gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right, church, and let's go home. I'm going home, God is on the way. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm going home, God is on the way. I'm going home. Stoic behaviors, forward reverse, chemistry saviors, unique verse, Archimedes, Ark of the Covenant, angels, angel of non-compete covenants, archaic cave wars, God, my God, course, CNC on, my God, horrors, my God, next doors, my God, now God doors. Oh, you accuser, one wants an iron door, you accuser, one wants to buy a clone. Wanna be ready, I got to be ready. Get right in church and let's go home. You better get right. God wants an iron door, let's go. Let's go, let's go home. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go. Ooh, 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 ooh. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, he's coming, let's go. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm going home. The righteous says he gotta live holy, gotta live right. If you wanna meet Jesus in the aisle, get right, church, and let's go home, home. Let's go home, let's go home.
Greater. Every time I get on here, try to not smile. Huh? Greater light. Let me get this party started right. Mm. And let me get it started off quickly with prayer. My mind is God's mind. I'm always reflecting divine wisdom and divine intelligence. My brain symbolizes the capacity to think wisely and spiritually. God's ideas unfold within my mind in perfect sequence. I am always poised, balanced, serene, and calm because I know God has provided the perfect solution to every single one of my needs. You could say amen. You could say Selah. You could say whatever it is that makes you a witness to whatever God has done for you, will do for you, gonna do for you in your life. And some of you don't even believe in God to want to give him that honor and glory. That's all right, because you're going to have to make a choice. And after you make that choice, you still going to know and recognize who God is. Every knee is going to have to bow. Every tongue is going to have to confess. King over all kings, Lord over all lords. You'll know what time it is. Listen, I put up a short in response to a live that I listened to, but I don't trust nothing that they saying. Huh? Believe that. I don't trust nothing that they saying. Huh? Because they don't believe. Huh? They don't believe. They don't believe and they don't know. They don't have no idea. They have no idea. No idea. Because they trying to prepare for things like they staying here. That's how I know they have no idea. Huh? Their concern is about the things of this earth, the man-made things. Hmm? They have no idea. Uh, Listen, let me give you a little testimony service. I made a statement and I let them know. I just reminded, let me, for those who come over who have no idea and they don't know. When I got the news, when my son, less than a few hours, when my son transitioned, the Twin Towers came down. Okay? No, he didn't transition in the Twin Towers. When I got the news that my son, they killed my son, the Twin Towers came down. Okay? Now, when they put the dirt over my brother, uh, that the weekend that he transpired, the whole sky all over the United States, there was what you call it, the Northern Lights, all the way down to South Georgia. And that, when they put him in the ground, the war broke out, the Fourth World War, the beginning of it, which is still going on. Now, I said, y'all had best let my grandma go naturally than to try to do anything. And I think what they did is they tried to fix it up. Huh? Because when she first got to the hospital, they had all kind of FBI agents all over, all type of secret intelligence agents all over where she's located. And I said, for y'all on good, it's best to let her go naturally. Or when Jesus is that, whatever y'all plans is gonna mess it up for y'all. She has a long history, huh, with her 12 fingers when Queen Elizabeth, mama them and daddy them tried to take and snatch up and kidnap my grandma to be a playmate for Queen Elizabeth. Mm? She's from the land of the original pyramids where Christopher Columbus first landed and had to go away and go get some Indians to snitch and tell and translate what was going on in the mighty jungle of the Bahamas. That's where she's from, with the original pyramids when you first encounter the United States. They tore them down and put a hermitage on top of it. Yeah. So just like now, all of a sudden, she just sleeping and sleeping. And every time they try to pull and drain and her so she try to go ahead and go away now, uh, earthquakes. gonna happen. Shoulda just let it be a natural thing. I don't know what y'all was thinking. Huh? Huh? Let her stop breathing again tonight. Y'all gonna wake up. It ain't not the Tibet, huh? It's gonna be a bigger, larger earthquake. Watch what I tell you. Uh, Again, that ain't privy to my family. It's a whole bloodlines of 144,000 beings that came as a witness that came through. There's messages to let y'all know. All right. That's just a testimony service. That's just a testimony service. Um, Today I'm going to talk about what they talking about in Congress. What's supposed to happen on the 9th, and remind you of how this is the 2003 of the Gregorian calendar. How that all matches up in a line. It is time for you to make and choose, because they're going to give you a choice. They already wrote it in the Federal Register. When they make the announcement, they're going to make a public announcement. And at that moment, you're going to have to choose what side you want. Whether you want the things of this world, or whether you would rather take the side of love and light and things that are natural, the natural ways of God. It ain't finna be long. It ain't gonna be no 2030. It's all happening now. You have a choice to make, and they are gonna make sure that you know that you're choosing on your soul's salvation. So, in regards to network blocking, so I went over the document with you, the 327-page document where they're geofencing, and I told you they're setting up a way or a program where they're going to try to block even those who make the right choice from exiting. And then they're going to attack as the cities are coming. They already are aligned, but even as today, as I looked at the sun, Nibiru is orbiting the sun, and it was on the east side of the sun. And the lights that they are trying to block, the green light, the green plasma that they are trying to block, the whole sun, everything about it was green today. The rays, everything about it was green today. I never, in all the pictures and images of when I see the sun and the different shades and hues that come from it, this is the first time that I was able to look at the sun and see the sun completely green and Nibiru on the right side of the sun. Yep, I stood out there for a long time looking because the air was clean. I told y'all See, it took for some big news broadcasting station to come through for them, like over there, Young Elder, to talk about the mist and the fog and all that. When I've been telling y'all in the Federal Register, I said, look, see what they about to do to the air. It's written. Um, Now people questioning, talking about people choking, and I said, see, I'm not even going outside. I kept saying it to people. I said, I'm not going to be going outside because I know right now they're doing something to the air, and my body. Every time I did go outside, it affected me, even if I went out there for a couple of minutes. Now all of a sudden it's a big news media thing, so now people want to talk about it. But they put whatever it is that they're gonna do, they put it in the Federal Register. Uh, if they're gonna blow up a bridge, they put it in the Federal Register. If they're gonna try to enhance anomalies, a deep freeze, vortex, intensify a normal hurricane by adding more chemicals so that it could be more powerful, they put it in the Federal Register. Now, a place that I haven't gone in a long time, I'm gonna go to today. I haven't gone to Congress in a minute. And the document that I saw over there in Congress, it's lengthy, but I think I want to read the whole thing. It's lengthy. While people are talking about what they got going on in the media instead of going to these places in the federal government where they talking about it before it get to the media. Hmm. They talking about all the things in all the scriptures about the last days in their meetings in Congress, in their meetings at the White House. Mm, all the stuff that is written about what's supposed to go on in the last and final days as we go away and the earth is cleansed and then we come back. They talking about it in they White House meetings, their Congress meetings. Mm. And that's for those who you don't believe in the Bible, I keep saying, but your government believe in it. I finally found out what that mitra means, this word right here. I said, y'all see, they talking about geofencing you in, and I went talking about Cephas. They got Cephas in there, and I said the mitra and the metra. This right here have to do with the Pope. The piece that the Pope wears on his head, that's what that word means right there. Mitra. So Cephas and the Pope is a symbol of the Pope. Now, the other document that coincides with them doing a block, the term I am is in there. I am. They vising it under the unmanned, they're veiling it under the unmanned um weapons or the unmanned, what do you call them, aircrafts. And a lot of us could automatically or assume that the unmanned aircrafts mean they're using artificial intelligence um, frequencies for these crafts, but they could be literally talk about the unmanned, meaning non-human aircrafts that are coming and going, and they're trying to figure out how to block them in and out. That's in this document right here that I'm going to cover here. It's only 67 pages. This document right here. And again, this document coincides with the geofencing. That's why I have network blocked. They're trying to figure out which frequencies will block the exiting of this plane. They don't want to just put a fence around. They have to make sure that over your head is blocked so that you can't leave. So this right here is the frequencies. This paperwork right here is the frequencies that they intend to use to coincide with the fence, the geofencing. Now, I corresponded with Solar, formerly known as Bing, formerly known as Copilot, and asked which scripture is more closely related to the fencing, the geofencing, and the network blocking that they're attempting to do. And she said Revelation 7. No, did she say Revelation? Yeah, she said Revelation 7, 1 through 3. Revelation 7, 1 through 3. And then she gave me additional scriptures that go all the way into the end of 7. But when you get into 7, that's when you get the names of the 12 tribes. Sidebar on the 12 tribes. I saw something when I put up that Aaron Neville song, listening to the live, where I don't believe nothing that they got going on right now. And it led me into going snake, the 6 killer tribe, the 6 killer tribe, the Indian tribe. And in my little quick intaking of knowledge, I found out that Grover Cleveland had created a law in 1877 that prevented crimes against Indian police and the chiefs and heads of the Indian police chiefs for the 6 killers of the going snake territory. That's just a sidebar about tribes. Anyways, let's get to this document. My whole, you have to forgive me. I shut down early today. Everything is numbing and hardening. And but I go through this. The numbness and the hardening of the muscles and stuff, and then I do what I gotta do, and I'll be all right. I'll be here until it's time for me to go. Phew, I'm all right with it. I'm all right. But here's a document that I found very, very interesting, and I want to read. Uh, I'm going back to picking on Elon right now. I'm going back to picking on Elon. All right, here we go. So this is what they was talking about at the White House and Congress yesterday. This is what they were talking about. Whatever else everybody else was talking about in the media and the news and the world stuff that's going on. This is what's keeping them entertained. This is what is important to them right now. It's not important to you. I hear people saying, it ain't a spiritual thing. And we ain't gonna beat no drums and then the ancestors just magically appear. That's because you looking for ancestors of this land, huh? But here we go. Here we go. Let me read this document. Let me see if I can make it a little bit larger. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. So it's called the 37 billion Musk dog coin scandal. Remember when I said, isn't it a coincidence, a kawiki diki, that the Department of Government Efficiency has the same title as the doggy coin? And then I was saying who let the dogs out and all that, and I was going on and on, right? Way before even Red Squid X knew what Doge was. I had started talking about it as soon as he came out with it. Before they even formed, because he had already had it planned. So the House of Representatives, they are concerned. Huh? They are so concerned that this is all that's on the tip of their tongue right now. They talking about war in this document. The person that presented his concerns, he talked about 3 or 4 different subjects. And I'm gonna read. Let's read. 37 billion Musk dog coin scandal. Somebody say, what does this have to do with anything? With uh, being free. It has everything to do with it. I told you that the Antichrist team is being formed right now. Antichrist are the beings that want to keep you locked in. They're going to purchase your light code. And the head honcho in charge of manipulating and purchasing and dissolving and uploading and downloading your light through power is Elon. Elon and his Power Rangers. No, you don't have to believe me. So here we go. Speaker pro tempore, Mr. Schweikert, under the Speaker's announced policy of January 9th, 2023. This was today, yesterday. He just mentioning information from Mr. Sherman and other policies from 2023. The chair recognizes the gentleman from California, Mr. Sherman, for 30 minutes. Mr. Sherman, Mr. Speaker, we are told that Trump has a mandate and that as a result of this election, the Republicans have a mandate to outlaw interstate travel by pregnant women, to deport 20 million people, to trash NATO, to trash the dollar, and slash Social Security. Let me read that one more time. This is what Mr. Sherman had to say at Congress yesterday. We are told, whoever whispered in Mr. Sherman's ear and the representatives that have this concern, that Trump has a mandate that as a result of this election, remember it says, pray that your travel for the pregnant women not be in the winter. It says Trump and them, because it's Trump and the doggy style team, has a mandate that as a result of this election, the Republicans have a mandate to outlaw interstate travel by pregnant women, to deport 20 million people, to trash NATO, to trash the dollar, and slash Social Security. Let us look at this mandate. Let's try to see the size of the mandate. There it is, that little area there. What little area is it? The size of a fence? Ah, let us look at the mandate. Mandate my ASS. This is the smallest possible differential between the two parties. If we can't put it up next to the chart, let's compare this mandate historically. Calvin Coolidge, that is a mandate. He won the popular vote by 25.2%. Joe Biden, 4.5 points. Mr. Speaker, there is three times that the mandate that is being claimed by Trump administration. This chart shows an edge for Trump at 1.7%. Since we created that chart, California has finally counted its votes. We in California, we take a month to vote, and then we take a month to count the votes. They are still valid. So it is really 1.5% difference. Compare that to Hillary Clinton's mandate. A mandate. She a mandated, huh? In 2016, she beat Trump by 2.1% of the popular vote. That might be a mandate, but this here, this is a squeaker. That is like saying you watch a football game and one team beats the other 48-47 because of a missed extra point, and that is a blowout. Hardly. There is no mandate to outlaw interstate travel by pregnant women or to trash NATO or deport 20 million people. If anything, we will see the reason people voted the way they did, not only here in the United States, but around the world. Although we would want to put this right side up, here we go. Yes, inflation peaked about 9% in the United States, and the Biden-Harris administration was held responsible by voters. Not only that, they just did the increase again. I went over in Federal Register, saw the inflation increase. It's like $1.02 time to the fourth power in the inflation increase. Keep in mind, this was the post-COVID effect. We saw it in the UK where we had 11% inflation, and in the Europe area, 11.5%, but people were pretty angry at that inflation. And you do have a mandate to bring it down. They have a mandate to do certain things, but a mandated that can't do certain things. But I have good news for the Republican Party. We Democrats have already done 9/10 of the work. You see, it was about 9%. It is now down 2.6% inflation, and every economist will tell you what you want about 2% inflation. Some will argue even higher. But the real hawks, I was just talking about hawk yesterday, say 2% inflation in the economy. We brought it down from 9% to 2.6%. It is your responsibility to get it down to that last 0.6%. But you do not have a mandate to deport 20 million people. What Mr. Sherman doing is talking in circles and talking in codes. It's something else I saw in the Federal Register that Biden has done, and it's in regards to all of the tribes and all of the and it's through Department of Interior. They have a cover, so they're showing all these things and mandates that go into self-identification for being indigenous, native, or tribal, right? And in the middle of it, it has the non-gender binding laws right in the middle, in the center of that paperwork for Department of Interior. That's just another side note. Now let's talk a little bit about an aspect of cryptocurrency that hasn't come up. And it also relates to the administration of the federal government. You see, we have a number of departments in the federal government and we name them. We don't name them after companies. It is called the Department of Transportation. It is not called the Pepsi Cola Department. Think of how much money tobacco company could make if we took that big canyon in Arizona and named it Marlboro Man Canyon. They talking about a man, huh? And a Marlboro Man, huh? And a canyon, huh? We don't do that except once. So they saying they did do it one time. We have a commission. We have had other commissions designed to study the efficiency of government and our expenditures, but this is the first. Now, the reason why I could read this and feel okay reading this from Mr. Sherman, because Mr. Sherman has helped set laws just like Biden all up and through Congress. Everywhere you look, there's a Mr. Sherman. Huh? Anybody remember when I used to come here more than I used to go to? I hadn't started going to Federal Register yet. I used to come right here to Congress, to the congressional records, and I used to go to whitehouse.gov and read their um, paperwork. So I know Mr. Sherman always got something to say, and then they always follow him up. So it says, but this time we have called the commission a department and spelled it DOGE, dog, or doggy, or doge. I heard the first time somebody pronounce it doge, and that was what's his name, Red Squid X. I say that clearly says dog with an E. Huh? Well, why is that? It says doggy, not doge. Well, why is that? Is that just a funny name? No, it is not. It is pimping out of the U.S. government to help private investment by naming a very important commission after the doggy coin. So, what has happened? Has it worked? Has it spiked up dog coin? You bet. Dog coin went up by 2.5 times, almost 3 times from the election day to a week after election day. You might say, well, we now have a crypto friendly administration. No, Bitcoin went up 27%. Dog coin went up 270%. Who knew about this? Who profited from it? How much profit was reached? The increase in that week, 1 week, was worth 37 billion to those who bet on Dogcoin. Elon Musk tells us that he is serving on this commission and not earning one penny. But he is the one person in the country who knew that we would have something called DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. And we knew it the day Trump was elected. He knew it the day Trump was elected. And many people who thought Trump would be elected maybe knew a day or two before. In the 10 days before the name was announced, I think it was actually a week, we saw the value increase by 37 billion, or 270% roughly, compared to 27% for Bitcoin. Certainly, Mr. Musk knew. This is the increase in doggy. Now, let's talk about how it compares to Bitcoin. We see a peak in doggy right there at the announcement. So, who was buying doggy in the days before? Who knew that that would be the announced famous name of the department that is getting more ink than just about anything else in government? Elon Musk knew. The man who says he is not going to earn a penny from the Department of Government Efficiency has already made some unclosed portion of 37 billion. I call upon Mr. Musk to show this country his trading in cryptocurrencies from a few days before the election until today so that we can know how the man who won't take a penny is benefiting or perhaps not benefiting from this 37 billion increase in the value of this cryptocurrency as a result of his unique name. He says he is doing it for free. There are, of course, others who knew the name and might have known the effect of the value of Dogecoin. Let us talk a little bit more about cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrency claim to have one advantage over the dollar, and that is that it is electronic. What about the dollar being electronic? It is to some degree. We have Venmo and Zelle, but cryptocurrency has spent more money buying politics perhaps than any other industry, depending on how you define the other industries. For hundreds of billions of dollars, what do they get for it? They passed in this House of Law prohibiting the Federal Reserve Board from making a dollar electronic and more efficient. Why? Because of the same reason that Pepsi Cola would like to pass a law saying you can't put any bubbles in Coke. They want to use the power of the federal government to cripple their main competitor. I commend Donald J. Trump for his brilliant statements of 2019 when he said in July, I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity. We have only one real currency in the US, and it is stronger than ever, both dependable and reliable. It is by far the most dominant currency anywhere in the world, and we will always stay that way. It is called the United States dollar. He was right in 2019, but he has changed. Yep, y'all shot at him too many times. And the importance of this change should not be underrated. I got involved in looking at cryptocurrency because of my involvement in foreign affairs. I saw the pressure we were able to put on Iran. Why? First, there is a huge disagreement, at least in my party, about the nuclear deal that we negotiated as a result of the pressure. We split into two camps. Some said that the pressure we put on Iran is so intense that we are getting a good nuclear deal. And some said that the pressure we're putting on Iran is so intense we should get a better nuclear deal. They agreed on one thing: it is the pressure. What was that pressure? I have been here since 1997. This is how long Sherman been in the office. Sherman, uh, I voted for sanctions on Iran. I proposed sanctions on Iran. What was effective? When we told countries that if they wanted to use the US dollar, they had to diminish their oil prices from Iran, oil purchases from Iran. It was the power of the dollar, not the power of our aircraft carrier groups, that forced Iran to sign an agreement. They otherwise wouldn't have and might have been able to get even a better deal than that. What is the effect of taking the dollar out? First, we lose that international power, and God forbid, to achieve our foreign policy aims, we would have to commit our soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen. Second, we have a level of fiscal responsibility in this house that would make Argentina blush. How is it that we usually get away with it? We get away with it because of our role of the United States dollar plays in the international affairs. It is the reserve currency. So yes, we print it. That would be inflationary. Most of the time it isn't. It was for a couple of years during COVID that they just printed as much money as they needed to print. See, that's what they're saying. When they needed the money, they printed it. We print these dollars. We spend them because we don't want to raise taxes and don't want to cut benefits. How do we get away with it? Everybody else in the world is using the dollar. Donald Trump understands the importance of that. As I quoted him, he understands how critical it is that the US dollar plays that role. So what happened to Donald Trump? Well, he takes the right position to defend the power of America and the wealth and the income of American families unless he can't get a lot of money for doing the opposite. We saw the crypto industry provide hundreds of millions of dollars in the campaign contributions. Then we also saw the creation of World Liberty Financial, a crypto company controlled by Trump's family, to which he has an official position as chief crypto advocate. So now Donald Trump has become chief crypto advocate, abandoning the interest of America and abandoning the interest of American families. What is the objective of crypto? When they took Trump in to do the quick surgery, the face off, you know how they face off did the when that man was in an accident and did his whole face, all they did was repaired his ear. Elon had something placed in Trump ear. It is said here by crypto backer Sam Altman. He said, I think the idea that we have a global currency that is outside of the control of any government, so the US can't use it to enforce its tax laws, its sanctions laws, or its laws against drug trade. It is a super logical and important step in technology tree. That is what crypto world wants to do to us. They tell us Trump knows how bad it is, and until he could profit by doing the opposite, he agreed with me on this issue. I look forward to fighting for the Trump of 2019 on the issue. Let's move on to the next slide. Mr. Speaker, just to show you that Trump understands what is going on, there's another possible currency, not a cryptocurrency, which was which has not benefited him, and that was a proposal that he used. We require a commitment from these countries. Which countries? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency. This is where they met up under the mitre, under the hat of the people over there in Notre Dame. Why this intense effort to prevent them from creating another currency? Because Donald Trump knows that having the dollar reign supreme means lower interest rates for American families. It means America has greater influence on the world. He still knows that rival currencies are bad for the American family and American people and the American government, and he is opposed to new currencies when he can't make extra money from their creation. But when he sees the campaign contributions from cryptocurrencies, and when he sees the money his family is going to make off their new crypto enterprise, he seems to move in the other direction. Now, commending South Korea's people and parliamentarians. Sherman, Mr. Speaker, I commend the people and the parliamentarians of South Korea. They inspired the world when they were faced with outrageous declaration of martial law, and the parliamentation fought their way into their parliamentary building and voted 190 to 0, including all members who were able to vote from President Yoon's party to stop the martial law. President Yoon's declaration of martial law was absolutely outrageous. It was an effort to South Korean democracy and an affront to the worldwide effort for democracy and the rule of law. When I was in listening into over there where I was influenced to place that song in the last short that I did, I heard I left a comment and then I deleted the comment. I said the only way right now in these last before the 25th is for all of the nations and all of the Nawapians to go to the White House and stand there, huh? In all of their beautiful splendors of colors, huh? That is the only way because they are trying to stop and block. So, Mr. Sherman bringing this up, that's just reminded me of the comment that I put in there and then deleted it because they always block me anyway. So I just, deleted it. I said, oh, nobody probably gonna see it. So let me just go ahead and block my own self. It was an effort to South Korean democracy and a front to the worldwide effort of democracy and the rule of law. What also what was also outrageous was his attempt to justify it on a national security grounds because of the declaration of martial law, and thank God it was stopped in a few hours. Nothing not only did nothing to enhance South Korea's national security, it undermined it because what are the two pillars of South Korean national security? The first is the unity of South Korean people and their dedication to democracy and the rule of law. President Yoon undermined that. Second, it is the relationship between the Republic of Korea and the United States of American people. Now, let me tell you the reason why he skipped over into this after talking about Elon Musk and cryptocurrency. Because in one of their congressional records, they had a problem with uh, Elon Musk putting out information stating what he considered is facts of history, that Taiwan is a part of the China Republic or something like that. So I think that's why he went into this. If I'm not mistaken, it's he's saying that Taiwan is a product of North Korea or China. I'm not sure on it. I just know that there's some type of issue. I could go to it, but I want to stay on this right now because I'm getting down to the nitty gritty in this document that they were talking about yesterday. The first is the unity of South Korean people and their dedication to democracy and the rule of law. President Yoon undermined that. Second, it was the relationship between Republic of Korea and the United States and the American people. Our commitment to South Korea is not a remnant of the fact that we fought together in 1950s. Yes, we remember history, but our dedication to South Korea is there because of our shared dedication to democracy. President Yoon tried to undermine that. I applaud the people of Korea and their parliamentarians of Korea on making sure that he was unsuccessful. And then he switches gears. He goes into making AI a tool for good. And this right here is important because this is all connected. He started off talking about the voting. Went into Elon Musk. He went into cryptocurrency and the money. He went over to probably one of the most threatening forces right now, which is North Korea. Over all of the countries, Korea is on that list. And then here. So, making AI a tool for good. Mr. Sherman, Mr. Speaker, in May of 2000, the year May of 2000, in the year May of 2000, let me see something in the Holy Tablets. Any of you who was with me yesterday as I was reading the Holy Tablets? Was it May of 2000? The term was May of 2000. Do you remember? Yeah, I'm not gonna scroll down to it. I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure it was May of 2000 that I was reading about. And let me go ahead and confirm. 12 midnight. When I told y'all that 2003 is the same. Yes, May in the year 2000. Here we go. You see it? Mad Catter, Greater Light. See that? May in the year 2000. Let me make it a little bit larger. So here, oh, I got it as large as it'll go. So here, Mr. Maybe I need to zoom this. Nope. I need it to stay just like that. Okay, so again, right here, May in the year 2000, and here he is mentioning May in the year 2000, yesterday. In the May of the year 2000, I was at this podium talking about the dangers of what I call engineered intelligence. Artificial intelligence from our computer engineers or new types of mammalian life from our biological engineers, say a 1,000-pound mammal with 200-pound brain that might beat my grandkids on law school admissions tests. Right now, artificial intelligence is the rage. And the question before us is it a tool or is it a creature? The answer is clear. For the next quarter century, at least, it is a tool. It is a powerful tool, an increasingly powerful tool. And we need to do a lot in Congress to make sure it is a tool for good. We also have to think of the second half of this century and whether artificial intelligence becomes a creature with its own volition and its own objectives. We are spending trillions of dollars to make artificial intelligence more intelligent. If we didn't, and we are, but while we are doing it, so is China, so is Europe, and so are others. Nothing is going to derail this effort to use artificial intelligence to make money and power. But while we are spending trillions making AI more powerful, perhaps we should spend 1% in a government agency to do some research on how to deal not just with the problems that confront us in the next few decades, but those that confront us in the second half of this century. I mean, we need to do research. Now, see, they already have those agencies. They created the artificial intelligence government already. So I don't know what Mr. Sherman talking about. I showed y'all the flag. I showed y'all the emblem. I showed y'all when they was still creating the artificial intelligence government. That was years ago. I mean, we need to do the research. I look forward to working with my colleagues in designing a bill to authorize this so that we are monitoring for and preventing self awareness, ambition, and survival instinct volition. If we do not, then all I can say is it was several hundred years ago. Some would perhaps say 100 years ago or less that our ancestors showed a new level of intelligence. So we said hello to the slightly less intelligent Neanderthal. And then we said goodbye to the Neanderthal. I realize there are genetic studies and footnotes to what I am saying, but we are here. Neanderthal, is it? You see what he's saying? And that is because that was the last time a new level of intelligence arose. It was only a matter of time before artificial intelligence is more intelligent than any human. I mean, that in a generalized sense, not just doing the things computers are good at, but doing the things that we do. We had better make sure that machines we build do not literally take on a life of their own, create their own objectives and their own tasks, seek to survive and propagate, and seek to achieve their own objectives. Elon is already seeing to that. Mr. Speaker, may I inquire how much time I have remaining? The Speaker pro tempore. The gentleman from California has 8 minutes remaining. Mr. Sherman, Mr. Speaker, artificial intelligence is a powerful tool. It will be more efficient tool. The question is, will it remain unaware? If it becomes aware, will it have an objective? Some have said that artificial intelligence will be the perfect Zen Buddhist, well aware of the situation, but utterly uncaring as to what happens. Now, see, he's bringing up things that has already been fulfilled because in the Buddhist temple, one of the Buddhist temples, they were already using artificial intelligence as a priest. I covered that almost 2 years ago. So when I watched that movie, and I said it didn't really do me any justice, when I watched that movie called The Creator with Denzel Washington's son, I can't really remember his name. Um, and that little boy, and every time they went to attack, they was attacking um the same place that just had an earthquake, the Buddhist temple. They was attacking those temples. Again, it's been about 3 years since some of those temples over there have been using artificial intelligence as a mediator in religion. So the fact that he just brought this up yesterday as if he isn't aware, I don't know. Some have said that artificial intelligence would be the perfect Zen Buddhist, well aware of a situation but utterly uncaring as to what happens. You go to today's largest computer and say, I think I should hit you with a sledgehammer and remove all your parts and sell the parts. How much will I get for the parts? Today's computer, today's artificial intelligence will do its best to calculate the value of its parts. You go to the stupidest or one of the less intelligent life forms, perhaps a cockroach, running across the floor, and tell it you want to stomp it and see how it reacts. It has survival instinct. Let us hope artificial intelligence does not develop a survival instinct, that it does not develop self awareness. However, let us not just hope. Let's take 1% of what we are doing to make AI more powerful and make sure it is safe. I look forward to working with my colleagues on that objective. Well, I'm talking about engineered intelligence. Many decades from now, we will confront another issue, and that is genetic engineering. See, he bringing up stuff that has already been going on for decades. Genetic engineering designed to create new levels of intelligence, not just decades, centuries over centuries of information. He seems intelligent enough to know that. But what is his guys right now? Whether we start for them to talk about this yesterday, whether they start with an elephant and in the room DNA or human DNA, certainly a mammal with genetically engineered brain 10 times the size of average human would probably be pretty smart. While I do not know whether artificial intelligence will have survival instinct, ambition, or desire to affect its environment so as to ensure its own survival or its propagation, I do assume that any life form we create will have all those things. As I have exemplified with the cockroach, every biological entity has a survival instinct. The DNA that that did not wish to survive and propagate didn't, and that isn't here. Now let me show you something. An artificial intelligence creature, or a being or robot, the ones that they have been showing lately do have survival instinct, but to some people they don't think that's survival instinct. Survival instinct, something that doesn't have survival instinct, if it doesn't fall it will wait for you to pick it back up. Once, like a baby has survival instinct internally when it comes to sucking and swallowing and things like that. But the instinct to, if it rolls over and to roll back, comes later. Okay. So the same thing with saying creating a robot or artificial intelligence being inside a body of a robot. If the robot without artificial intelligence falls, it waits to be programmed to get back up. But the artificial intelligence beings that are connected with the robot body now, with a hardcore body, they, if they fall, they help themselves get back up. That's the beginning of survival instinct. If they stumble, they don't just allow themselves to fall over. They try to pick themselves back up, including the little dogs and stuff that they have now, the ones that they are meshing with artificial intelligence. That's the first sign of survival instinct. Do you get it? Or you don't believe that? But you could take somebody like me, not so educated, but him sitting up there saying that and saying we need to create more and more departments that they already have that's supposed to have already been studying that. Survival, the first signs of survival instinct is being able to catch a ball. When your child is a toddler, they don't know survival if somebody throws a ball at them to try to catch it. But once you realize that your toddler knows and has the instinct to catch the ball as it's being thrown or block it from hitting them, huh? That's a sign of survival instinct. Artificial intelligence has already developed, is already developing survival instinct. But who am I? Back to it. Every biological entity has survival instinct. The DNA that we did not wish to survive and propagate didn't, and it isn't here. We will confront that issue many decades from now. Wrong, and our right now, and our successors or their successors will have to wrestle with that kind of genetic engineering, and can be done with the that affects intelligence. Our Congress here has got to deal with computer engineering that is already in front of us. We can worry about some of the short term things. It is self-driving car safe? Is a self-driving car safe, or will we see an automobile accident? That is important. We want to save people from automobile accidents, but it is not existential. We as humankind have lived through automobile accidents and bad drivers. I think he's being funny because he's still in his mind talking about Elon. What is existential is the possibility of creating an artificial intelligence with general capacities and self-learning that also happens to develop what we do not know how this arises. We don't even know whether it exists in certain animals. We know it exists in ourselves: self awareness, ambition, and desire to survive, and the ability to set its own goals. I look forward to working with my colleagues. My fear is that all money and power in this world is going to hell bent for making the hellbenders, for making AI powerful. And there will be nothing, not even crumbs, going to make it AI safe. Those few crumbs will go into dealing with issues that involve the safety of one person today who could not be hurt in an automobile accident. And even less than crumbs will go into a bigger issue of whether AI developed its own ambition and self-awareness. Mr. Speaker, in less time than I was allocated, I have covered four different subjects. I look forward to rejoining with so many of my colleagues next week. I yield back my balance of time. And he's saying next week they're gonna come back after what happens January 9th. After what happens January 9th. Grandma, why you keep focusing on January 9th? Because it's already written. But even so, if nothing else drastic happens that day, their plans to do demolition to power. How do you demolition power? How do you demolition power? And remember yesterday, you was here with me, Mad Catter, yesterday. Everything that kept pointing to uh, Louisiana, and I asked a question about Louisiana. Here today, they released a safety zone paperwork in the Federal Register, and this safety zone paperwork says that they are going to be doing overhead electrical power line structure demolition on Thursday, January 9th. And they give the radius and the longitude and latitude. I should go and put this in and see if it's inside the fencing program, the coordinates they have here. You know what? Let me just do that. Let me see. Let's go. Let me see. Should I do it here? I don't want to come out of this right now. See, this is that. Well, I talked about the unmanned information. So let me go into, let's see, if I type in geofencing, how fast did it come up? Geofence. That didn't come up. What? Documents. Geofence. Newest. Oxidized frontline fenced in. Look at this one. Is this the same one? October 11th. Is this the same document? Nope. Oh boy, they talking about the air again, and they bring in an October 11th in it. Mm-mm-mm. At 10/11. Look at the codes there. Look at this. Oh goodness. Oh, this was the beginning of them working on a geo fence. They had Thomas and Smith help them out, huh? Weaver, Thomas, Smith, and Williams. Okay, nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's go to the globe. Let's go to the globe. Give me a moment. Let Google Earth load up. And of course, I know that this document is in regards to Louisiana, but it's me wanting to know if it's on that list at Federal Register. Let me do it the right way. That was under rules, and it would be oh, I got a mental block right now. Ooh, I got a block. I got a block. I got a block. Significant documents, child restraints, 4 rules, practices, right here. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? Okay, right here. So this is the document, 372 pages. Let's go to 370 up here. No, let me do Control F and then copy and paste those coordinates to see if that come up. Nope, those coordinates don't come up in here, or maybe it's just 29 and 91. Okay, 370. Come on now, what they doing? 370, 29. I'm gonna do a quick scan. Give me a moment. 29. Let's see. 21. Louisiana got to be on there. 28. Let's scroll back up. 28, 21, 29, and 91. All right, so here's 29. So they got Louisiana up in here, but is it the same 21? Let me find hopefully this exact location. 29 and 91. That's 21, 29, and 91. There's 2985. I should check out the 2985. 29. Let's see, is it 29 here? 29, 29, 29, 29. Thanks for being here with me while I'm doing this. Um, some of you military minds and very intelligent intellectuals would probably find it faster than me. 29 and 91. 29 and 91. Well, it's not here. But there's so many different fencing coordinates that they have. But let me go ahead and Google this anyway. Get started. Explore Earth. Share tab. Put in this coordinates and hit. Oh, it's something I'm missing. That's why. Okay. Go back to that paperwork and look at the coordinates again. It's not allowed. Oh, I forgot to put in the west. That's probably why it wasn't coming up in this document. So let me go back to this document and try that again. Let's go. Check. Paste. Nope, it's not there. All right, now back to Google Earth and see what I'm sharing on screen with y'all. Let me make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. There we go. No, I need you to go all the way up in there. Let's go. Hey, fly here. Not that far in. Okay, come on. All right, well. So that's the river. What type of demolition? Where's the cords and all that? This look like land don't even have no bunch of power cord for them to do no demolition. There's an airport. Oh, the Natchez Village of the Indians, Grand Village of they going in to get rid of some Indians, y'all. they go, they go. Moorville, Moorville, Forest Aid Church. Let me read some more about this power demolition they got going on. Okay, so this is for the ninth, y'all. Louisiana, and they supposed to be doing some type of demolition at the Falaya River. Power line demolition overhead, Cypress Passage, approximately locally known as Cypress Passage, during overhead electrical power line structure demolition operation on Thursday, January 9th, 2025. Mm. Significant action under notice to marinas. There they got the federalism order for the Indian tribes. Am I sharing this document? Can you see this document? Let me share this document. This is the document in regards to the demolition of the power in that area. And then they got the radio signals ready. Operation from 8 a.m. through 8 p.m. Let me look at this area again on the map. Okay. County extension. All right, I'm not going to look too much into it. Just know if they talk about, oh, it was a mistake, it's something happened over in this area, and they talk about all the lives and all that type of stuff, just know they lying. We'll leave it just like that. But I really truly believe whatever source of power that they're doing is connected to the funeral and the other stuff that's supposed to take place January 9th that I've been talking about since last month. Last month I was talking about January 9th before Carter passed, before they planned his funeral, and before Biden wrote out that information about January 9th. Okay? All right? And that gives you the midpoint before January 25th. So everything that's supposed to take place between now and this supposedly transition of funeral or whatever, and whatever meeting that happened with Camp David between the Abraham's Accord between Egypt and Israel, it's replaying again. This is everything in the Bible is prophetic. I don't want to stay on here any longer, just because I got now my mind is doing the 1,000 miles per minute on a bunch of different things, and I want to go ahead and meditate and focus. That's where I'm about to go now. I'm gonna go probably listen to the Wind and I, uh, some DNA music. That's what I'm about to do, and that way I'm not um astral hopping and projecting with people like what's that guy name? I don't watch him. I don't know how he ended up in my dreams. Um Corey Holcomb. I don't watch him. I don't like him. I don't watch him. I don't connect with him. And when people start talking, I was like, who is he? I didn't even know he existed. But he sure was in my dream past shadow hours in that dream that I talked about with Andre 3000. Mm. So I don't want to do all that extra astral projecting and going in people's houses and looking at their library and stuff. I want to be have peace of mind and do something else. Whatever it is he's trying to show me, he need to be showing it to Erica. Uh, or maybe Erica in on it. Who knows? Hey, greater light, greater light, greater light. I will do holy tablets tomorrow. Greater light. I need some me time.
Born a new self who is being created. toward true knowledge according to the image of the one who created you. The people who walk darkness will see a great light. Those who live in a dark land, the light will shine on them. God's promise, 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 promise. God's promise, 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 promise. God's mind is my mind is light. I'm in always reflecting His sight. Always I acknowledge, no knowledge, no courage. Ooh, God, you promised that great day will come. Yes, God, you promised that I will see my son. You promised that He is by your side, and nothing can separate this love inside. No masters, no doctors can prescribe ways in my calling. Only His ways, oh ancient days can correct